Yeah, boy, your boy Stingray Cool here. Back with a good show. And now I'm about to tell you today's show. I'm about to tell you about the old school legend, Red Fox, aka John Elroy Sanford. He made the pathway for a lot of people, from Eddie Murphy, Dave Chappelle, Cat Williams, Kevin Hart, Richard Pryor, Martin Lawrence, Chris Tucker, Kenny Waynes, Damon Wayans, Sean Waynes, Marlon Wayans. He made a pathway for everyone. He even made a pathway for Stingray Cool. I'm not even a comedian by Emma Entertainer, aka the truthful, conscious, funny, loving entertainer. But yes, he was born John Elway Sanford on December 9th, 1922. He passed away on October 11th, 1991, better known by his stage name Red Fox, REDDFOXX. He was an American stand-up comedian, an actor. His fast gained success was with the raunchy nightclub acts during the civil rights movement, known as the King of the Party Records. He performed on see, more than 50 records in his lifetime. He portrayed Fred G. Fox. He portrayed Fred G. Sanford on the television show Sanford and Son, and starred in the Red Fox show in The Royal Family. His film projects include The All Fine Young Cannibals in 1960, Cotton Comes to Harlem in 1970, Norman, Is That You in 1976, and Harlem Nights 1989. A year before I was born. He was born in December 22nd, of course, in St. Louis, Missouri. St. Louis in the house, Midwest in the house. And he died October 1991, at the age of 68 in Los Angeles, California. His resting place is Palm Eastern Cemetery in Las Vegas, Nevada. What he was known for is stand-up and television, and nationality American, education, DeSoto High School, years active 1935 to 1991. His genres was wordplay, observational comedy, black comedy, blue comedy, insult comedy. Subjects was African American culture, human sexuality, race relations, everyday life. The spouses was Evelyn Kilbrew from 1948, divorced in 1951, Betty Jean Harris, 1956, and divorced in 1975. Joy Yon Chi Young, which was Fred G. Sanford and Sanford and Son. Let's see. Oh yes. Fred G. Sanford and Sanford and Son, and also Sanford was a spin-off of Sanford and Son. It was like him and a white guy was on Sanford. Let's see. In 2004, Fox ranked 25th comedy ranked 24th in Comedy Central, presents 100 greatest stand-ups of all time. Fox is not only influenced by many comedians, but was often portrayed in popular culture as well, mainly as a result of his catchphrases, body language, and facial expressions. Exhibited on Sanford and Son during the show's 5-year run, Fox won the Golden Globe Award and received an additional 3 nominations, along with 3 Primetime Emmy Awards nominations. Fox was posthumously given a star on St. Louis Walk of Fame in 1992. His early life. Fox was born John Elroy Sanford on December 9th, 1922 in St. Louis, Missouri, and raised in Chicago's South Side. His father, Fred Sanford, an electrician and auto mechanic from Hickman, Kentucky, left the family when Fox was 4 years old. He was raised by his Somali, Somali mother, Somali mother, Mary Hughes from Ellisville, Mississippi. His grandmother and his minister. Fox attended DeSable High School in Chicago's Bronzeville neighborhood with future Chicago Mayor Harold Rossington. Fox had an older brother, Fred Jr., who provided the name for his character on Sanford and Son. On July 27, 1939, Fox performed on a major Bose amateur hour radio show as part of the Jump Swingin' Six. In 1940s, in the 1940s, he met Malcolm Little, later known as Malcolm X. In Malcolm's autobiography, Fox is referred to as Chicago Red, the funniest dishwasher on this earth. He earned the nickname because of his reddish hair and complexion. Basically, it was light skin with red hair. Yep. During World War II, Fox dodged the draft by eating half a bar of soap before his physical, a trick that resulted in heart palpitations. On September 30th, 1946, Fox recorded 5 songs for the Savoy label under the direction of Teddy Rigg. His career nightclub act. Fox raunchy nightclub act proved successful after performing on the East Coast. His big break came after singer Danae Washington insisted that he come to Los Angeles, where Dootsy Williams of Dutone Records caught his act at the Brass Rail nightclub. Fox was one of the first black comics to play to white audience on the Las Vegas Strip. He was signed to a long-term contract and released a series of comedy albums that quickly became cult favorites. Then Sanford Son. Here we go. Fox achieved his most widespread fame starring in the television sitcom Sanford and Son, an adaptation of the BBC series Steptoe and Son. Fox played the role of Fred G. Sanford in The Jesus Was Great. Fred Sanford was actually Fox's father's and brother's names, while co-star Damon Wilson played the role of his son Lamont. In this sitcom, Fred and Lamont were owners of junk salvage store in Watts, California, much love California, who dealt with many humorous situations. The series was notable for its racial humor and overt prejudice, which helped redefine the genre of black situation comedy. Something really needed to open up a lot of people's eyes to many different things and let people see a lot of things. Basically, let people see many different things. And it had a way how we can poke fun at racism and recognize racism exists all at the same time. The series premiered on the NBC television network on January 14th, 1972, and was broadcast for 6 seasons. In 1974, Fox was sued for 10 million by Tadine Productions, producers on the show, for not showing up to start taping the new season. The final episode aired on March 25th, 1977. The show had the show also had several running gags. When angry with Lamont, Fred would often say, "You big dummy," or would often fake heart attacks by putting his hand on his chest and say, usually while looking up at the sky, and say, "It's the big one. I'm coming to join you, honey." Elizabeth, referring to his late wife. Fred would also complain about having arthritis in my left hand, as he would say, to get out of working by showing Lamont his cramped hand. Fox portrayed a character who was in his 60s, although in real life he was a decade younger. Fox used the starring role on Sanford and Son to help get jobs for acquaintances such as LaWanda Page, who played Aunt Esther, Slappy Wright, Gregory Sierra, Don Bexley, Bay Richards, Stymie Bird, aka Stymie for Little Rascals. Yep, Stymie Bird. When he was an adult, he was on Sanford and Son, which, and when he was a kid, he played Stymie on the Little Rascals. Another hit along with Three Stooges and Loyal and Hardy. Leroy Daniels, Ernest Mahan, and Naoku Pat Morita, aka Mr. Miyagi, wax on, wax off. Yep, Nairoku Pat Morita. No, he was also on Sanford and Son when he was younger in his early years. I think he might have been on Happy Days too. Wilson was asked whether he kept in touch with everybody from Sanford and Son, especially the series star himself after the series was canceled. No, I saw Red Fox once before he died, circa 1983. I never saw him again. At the time, I was playing tennis at the Malibu Racquet Club, and I was approached by some producers about doing a Red Fox 50th anniversary special. I hadn't spoke to him since 1977, and I called the club where Red was playing, and we met at Red's office, but he was less than affable. I told those guys it was a bad idea. I never had cross words with him. People say I'm protective of Red Fox in my book, Second Banana, Wilson's memoir of the Sanford and Son years. I had no animosity towards Fox for quitting the show in 1977 because I had $1 million contract at CBS to do Baby I'm Back. My hurt was that he didn't come to me about throwing the towel in. I found out in the hallway at NBC from Newcastle. I forgave him and I love Red, but I never forgot that the love was there. You can watch any episode and see that this is post Sanford and Son years. In 1977, Fox left Sanford and Son after 6 seasons to star in a short-lived ABC variety show, resulting in the cancellation of the NBC series in 1980. He was back playing Fred G. Sanford in a short-lived revival spin-off Sanford. In 1986, he returned to television in the ABC series The Red Fox Show, which was canceled after 12 episodes due to the low ratings. Fox appeared on the Obi-Wan Kenobi-like character in the Star Wars special of the Donnie and Marie Show. In a homage to his show, he mentioned the planet Sanford, which which has no sun. In 1989, Fox was featured in the Harlem Nights, written, directed, and produced, starring Eddie Murphy. No, that came out a year before I was born. Fox made a comeback with the short-lived series Royal Family, in which he co-starred Della Reese. No, rest in peace, Della Reese. Rest in peace, Red Fox. Rest in peace, Charlie Murphy. People like that. In case one, Charlie Murphy was on Harlem Nights. Charlie Murphy is Eddie Murphy's brother. You know, most love Eddie Murphy for showing love to Red Fox and all them and putting them on his movie. At some point in the late 1970s and early 1980s, Fox had a business on Sunset Boulevard in Hollywood where car owners could have their vehicles' roofs vandalized and processed that added a fuzzy, velvety texture to the program vinyl tops of some cars. That period, especially those were referred to as the time as pimp mobiles. It was called Red Fox car vandalism. He had a little financial and tax problems. People magazines pointed once earned 4 million in a single year, but departure is fortune with lavish lifestyle exhibited by what he called very bad management, contributing to his problems where he divorced his Fox spent over 150 million awaiting his divorce from his second wife, Betty Jean, which included monthly support payments of $10,000. Following their separation in 1974, he also ordered a pay 2,500 a month while awaiting divorce for his third wife, Joelle, after their separation in 1979, and then pay her 300,000 divorce settlement in 1981. Then in 1983, he filed bankruptcy with proceedings continuing at least through 1989. The IRS filed tax liens against Red Fox property to income taxes he owed the years 1983 to 1986, totaling $755,166.21. On November 28, 1989, the IRS seized his home in Las Vegas and 7 vehicles, including 1927 Model T and 1975 Panther J72 and 1983 Zimmer in a Vespa motor scooter. To pay the taxes, which by then had grown to $996,630. Now his personal life, Red Fox wed 4 times, basically was married 4 times. His first marriage was to Evelyn Kilbrew in 1948 and ended in divorce in 1951. On July 5th, 1956, Fox married Betty Jean Harris, a showgirl and dancer who was college colleague of LaWanda Page, later to be Red Fox's TV rival Aunt Esther on Sanford and Son. They met at a nightclub where they was appearing on the same bill. As per their argument, Harris gave up the career to show business to become a full-time housewife. Fox adopted Harris' 9-year-old daughter, Debrace, and who assumed the surname Fox. Harris handled most of Fox's business ventures such as Red Fox Enterprises, which included a chain of record stores in Los Angeles. The couple separated in 1974 due to Fox's infidelity. After 18 years of marriage, Fox filed for divorce on the grounds of incompatibility in May 1974. Then Fox married his third wife, Joy Young Chi Young, at the Thunderbird Hotel in Las Vegas on December 31st, 1976. Fox met Joy, who was 20 years his junior, when she was a cocktail waitress in Las Vegas at the Las Vegas Hilton shortly after her arrival from Korea. After Fox filed for divorce in October 1979, she responded with her own divorce suit charging him with cruelty. During their divorce proceedings, Fox told Jet magazines, "I've been married 3 times, so I'm out." He added, "I'd rather have kids because when I give up all this money, or divorce, I should go to the children and not some guy." Their divorce was finalized in 1981. Fox paid a $300,000 divorce settlement. In July 1991, Red Fox wed Kao Chol from Seoul, South Korea. They met at Billy's Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. Despite denouncing marriage after his third divorce, Fox told Jet magazine that he married Cho because she stuck by him through his trials and tribulations with the IRS. He saw she saw with me with a she saw me with a nickel, and hopefully she will see me with $1. I'll give her 75 cents of it. He said that were married at the Little Church of the West in Las Vegas, followed by a reception at the Pasadena Hotel. His death on October 11, 1991, during a break from rehearsal for the royal family. Fox suffered a heart attack on the set. According to Della Reese, Fox was chatting with a reporter from Entertainment Tonight. The scene where he was supposed to be in was not ready to shoot, and Fox and Reese were practicing. In fact, Fox had no lines in that scene at all. As Reese said, all he had to do was walk behind the back of my chair. While Fox was giving an interview, one of the producers entered the stage and asked where he was. Reese told him, and the producer responded by grabbing Fox and taking him into the set, saying, "If he's supposed to be in the scene, he should be here." Reese said that this was another in the long line of disputes Fox had with the producers, including an intense where one claimed he could teach Fox to be funny. Fox, irate, did his scripted pass. However, he fell to the floor immediately after doing so. Reese said that nobody in this suspected anything was wrong. Fox, after all, was famous for having Fred Sanford fake heart attacks on Sanford and Son, and was particularly skilled at pratfalls. I guess like prank falls. In other words, prank falls. Reese went to the floor when Fox did not immediately rise and heard him say, "Get my wife," twice. Reese called for paramedics who initially pronounced Fox dead at the scene. According to Joshua Rich at Entertainment Weekly, a end. It was end so ironic that for a brief moment, castmates figured Fox, whose 1970s TV character often faked Connerys, was kidding when he grabbed a chair and fell on the floor. Fell to the floor. Fox was temporarily resuscitated and taken to Queen of Angels Hollywood Presbyterian Medical Center. 4.5 hours after admission, he again was pronounced dead. Fox is buried in Palm Memorial Park, also known as Palm Eastern Cemetery in Las Vegas. Fox's mother, Mary Sanford Carson, 1903 to 1993, outlived her son by 2 years. She had been lingering in and out of coma for a few years. Her death in 1993, she was buried beside him. So basically, Red Fox and her mama buried together. So she had enough willpower to live 2 years after her son, Red Fox. Okay. His we're gonna end it with this. His influences, the comedy, and actor Richard Pryor cited Red Fox as an influence. He gave me inspiration and encouragement so I could be more me. Pryor told Ebony magazine in 1990. Comedian Chris Rock also cites Red Fox as an influence. An episode of the show Everybody Hates Chris shows young Chris Rock overhearing his parents' Red Fox albums and getting started doing stand up by retelling the jokes at school. Actor and comedian Jamie Foxx has stated that he chose his professional surnamed as a tribute to Fox. Pat Morita, also named Fox, as his mentor from his early days as a nightclub comedian. If I ain't mistaken, Pat Marietta is Mr. Miyagi, and Jamie Foxx' real name is not Jamie Foxx. So I used to think that. I think it was in 2003 or something when I find out Jamie Foxx' real name. Well, Jamie Foxx is not his real name. I forgot his real name. So he went Jamie Foxx as a tribute to Red Fox. So this is the story and origins of Red Fox. You know, hope y'all enjoy it. Much love. God bless. Stingray cools out. I will keep stinging.